Welcome to a Wayne County Bicentennial Minute in celebration of Wayne County, New York's unique history, which spans 200 years and is historic to the core. Wolcott's Railroad, narrated by Bruce Farrington. The railroad was an important part of Wolcott's history and contributed to the prosperity of the village and the surrounding area. In October of 1872, the track began being laid. This railroad was called Lake Ontario Shore Railroad and made its debut in Wolcott on November 5, 1872. Initially, it was used to move freight, but shortly after that, on November 25, 1872, the first passenger train arrived in the village. The train ran from Niagara Falls to Oswego. The railroad was sold in 1875 and became the Watertown and Ogdenburg Railroad, known as the R.W.&O. Railroad, which was later nicknamed Rotten Wood and Old Rusty Rails. This now made it possible to run freight to the Atlantic Ocean via rail. Wolcott now had the opportunity to move goods manufactured or grown here west or east quickly. Before this, wagons had to take goods to Clyde, New York to be loaded on the Erie Canal barges or to Lake Ontario to be freighted to different ports. On January 20th, 1920, there was a terrible accident which occurred at Paddock's Crossing, about 2 miles west of Wolcott. A snowplow pushed by 2 locomotives hit a large snowdrift. The snowplow buckled and landed across the track and was smashed almost into kindling wood. Both locomotives went off the track and down a bank. The pilot in the plow miraculously came to after the wreck, not much the worse off. James Carroll of Charlotte, engineer of the first locomotive, was held under the engine and was deluged with hot water and live steam from the boiler and died a few hours later. By 1930, the railroad was merged with the New York Central and became known as the Hojack Line. By 1958, the New York Central was no longer carrying passengers into Wolcott, but continued to deliver freight. Children set fire to the Wolcott Railroad Station in October 1976. The part where the passengers would have waited and also where the station master was had smoke damage. However, where the baggage and freight were kept, the room was fire damaged. In this room, the old waybills were stored. Many were partially burned, but still readable. The freight business to Wolcott ended in 2007. It was the end of the era for the Wolcott Railroad, the little railroad that could.
Riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central, Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 15 restless riders, 3 conductors, 25 sacks of mail. All along the side